Welcome very briefly into the Radiopaedia reading room, just long enough for Frank and I to let you know two very important things. Do you even know what they are, Gaylard?
Well, I know that cheese fondue are a terrible idea and that dreams are highly overrated.
That's definitely two things, but they're not even close to the two that I have written down here. That said, I'm a little intrigued to hear about this fondue story, so we'll come back to that in a moment maybe. But the first thing that we need our listeners to know is that our usual episode this week won't be coming out tomorrow, because instead it's coming out on Friday, and it's going to be a special 2-hour podcast with cameras on to celebrate the final day of the Radiopaedia 2024 virtual conference. So a special one, Gaylard.
2 hours of unscripted, unprepared goodness with no less than 3 guests, right?
Yeah.
Even less for me to do and get ready other than making sure I look presentable and wear pants. What's the second thing? You said 2 things.
I should also add, it's also unedited and unpolished in terms of the audio quality. So maybe expect a bit of a live feel to the next episode. But yes, the second exciting thing is that today is day one of the conference, Gaylord. In fact, the very first session of the Radiopaedia 2024 virtual conference is starting in an hour from now. It's a head and neck session, Gaylord, hosted by friend of the podcast, Lee Al-Halali. I'm hoping the live page kind of goes off without a hitch. I've got live polling there, scrollable cases. We've even got a little audio player this year, an animated GIF to fill the short gaps between sessions to keep the vibe going. So, yeah, lots of exciting stuff.
I'm very much looking forward to it. This year is going to be even better than last year. And I'm going to try. I know you always tease me about minimum effort, but I'm going to try and be in the live chat as much as possible during the week, not just for my own sessions, but as many of them as I can.
Excellent. All right, we'll hold you to that. And of course, we should also say it's not too late to register for the conference. In fact, you can register up until this Friday and you'll be able to catch up on anything you missed on demand. So just head to the website and you'll see banners flashing and guiding you everywhere towards the conference and the live sessions. Now, maybe before we go, Gaylard, I can see you've got something to say about cheese fondue and dreams or whatever it was. Have a little chat. Go on.
No, look, it's as you know, I'm half Swiss French, and I've been eating.
So you've got holes in you?
That's right. Many gas-filled holes. There was actually an interesting story I read about Swiss cheese, which was it was progressively having fewer holes, and it was a marketing problem. Because Swiss cheese is like Emmental, which is a terrible cheese, by the way. It's horrible that is the Swiss cheese because it's horrible cheese. But anyway, it's meant to have holes. And every year they were having fewer holes. And it turns out that the reason was that cheese cleanliness or cleanliness of milk production had kept going up. And the thing that creates the holes is a little bit of hay or a bit of dirt from when they milk the cows. And so now they're reintroducing sterile bits of muck in it to create just the right number of holes. But that wasn't my story. The story was that I've grown up with cheese fondues when I was a kid, and periodically I get this nationalistic urge to recreate a cheese fondue at home. And I think, wouldn't it be great this time to have a cheese fondue? And so yesterday, we went ahead and did that, and the boys really like it. My wife, not so much. We bought about 700 grams of cheese for 4 of us, mostly Gruyere and a bit of raclette, which is another Swiss cheese, copious dry white wine, and cognac. It should be Kirsch, which is like a paint thinner made from cherries. But anyway, the result is the kids eat a bit and then they kind of get tired. My wife doesn't eat very much of it. And then there's like 400 grams of cheese left over. And I'm like, ooh, this is too good to go to waste. So keep eat and you drink lots of wine and cognac. And then you kind of pass out. And then all night you have these cheese-inspired hallucinatory sort of Inception-like dreams where I woke up this morning and I felt rubbish and exhausted. And it took me a while to even kind of work out what was real and what wasn't from the night. And I'm swearing I'm never going to have another cheese fondue. But sure enough, in 6 months' time,
It'll
I'll be
happen.
back.
And you'll be tripping balls in your dreams again. Speaking of Inception-like dreams, I mentioned the audio players and the GIFs that we're using to fill the gaps between sessions this year at the conference. You've got this live page, and I was trying to test it out this morning. I've got Murph at my house at the moment because we're coordinating conference stuff. So he's sitting at the opposite end of the table playing some music through his computer whilst he's working. My son's in an adjacent room playing VR because it's school holidays and he's like screaming at the top of his lungs. Your wife of the podcast, she's listening to her headphones whilst doing housework. She's crashing dishes everywhere, getting chairs and flipping them upside down and putting them on the table right next to me. And I'm trying to do these calculations, these time calculations in my head, because you've got to have the video fade away at one time and then the GIF fade up and then the audio track come in. So I'm trying to do these calculations. I've got numbers floating around my head, and my brain was fully fondued, Gaylard. I couldn't come up with anything. So I just walked out of the room. I couldn't really tell my wife off for tidying up the house or my son for having
Well, you could
fun.
try.
Yeah. So I went, I had a shower, I just relaxed, and the numbers, they floated around. I started drawing on the steam of the glass shower door and I worked it out, and I think I've nailed it. But I totally understand those dreams where you just have things going on and you can't
Yeah.
make sense.
Oh, it's awful.
When it happens in real life, that's the worst.
That sort of chaotic environment that you just described, I couldn't cope with at all. I struggle when I can hear the dishwasher. When we did our renovation, there was a lot of like, no, we have to make sure it's a quiet model and that the extraction fan is quiet. I would have a complete meltdown. But the real question I have for you is, did you have Murph stand outside the shower with some warm towels for you?
It's not in his contract.
Next time.
And we don't have a human resources department for him to complain to, so maybe. Anyway, I think we're done here, Gaylard. So listeners should remember 3 things, I guess, from this, not just 2. 1, there's no episode tomorrow because there's going to be a long live one arriving on Friday. 2, the conference begins today, and we look forward to seeing everyone over there in the live chat. Gaylard is going to be at least 4 of the 6 sessions every day in the live chat without fail. And we'll reply to every comment within a minute without fail. And number 3, I guess it's just don't do fondue.
That would be quite a good t-shirt.
Don't fondue and sleep. Don't do fondue. Don't fondue and sleep. Oh, we also learned about holes in Swiss cheese. I did not expect any of this, Gaylard. Thank you very much. It's your Swiss heritage coming through. Can't keep it out of the podcast. I should do this last line. And we'll catch you all again sometime soon this Friday for 2 long hours, I suspect, in the reading room.
And don't forget to stay rad.
It's big energy. All right. See you on Friday, Gaylard.
See ya. Bye-bye.